What if I told you that the difference between your financial success and financial bankruptcy can be down to £1 or dollar? If you haven't guessed it already, today we're going to talk about debt, and more specifically credit card debt. And I'll show you how not getting the right repayment amount can ruin your finances, even if you're off by just £1. And this may be more relevant than you may think, because Founder.com published some interesting statistics about credit card usage for the UK, and according to them, almost 60 million credit cards were issued as of January 2022, which compared to a UK population of 67 million is almost one credit card for every resident. But credit cards aren't necessarily a bad thing, and when used properly they can give you reward points, which again according to Finder.com is earned mostly on clothes and cosmetic purchases. You can find the full article link in the description below. The article also highlighted one thing: the largest category of searches for credit cards was for the bad credit category. But why is that? Why do people have trouble repaying their debts? Well, it might be the case that they are repaying their credit but not paying enough. Let's illustrate this with an example. Say I have a credit card balance of £2,000 and spend around £500 a month on, you guessed it, clothes and cosmetics. But I also know that I shouldn't just repay the minimum payment, but more. The minimum balance is usually 2% of the outstanding balance or £25, whichever is the highest. These are the default values, which I also have in my free calculator online, by the way, and that's located at Questura.com. Link is in the description. Because I pay £500 a month, I think if I pay anything more than £500 a month, then my outstanding balance would reduce over time, right? My logic is that I'm reducing my initial credit card balance. Well, that depends how much more I'm paying. So if I pay £700 a month, I'd clear the debt within 1 year. You can check it with the calculator, just make sure you change the repayment from minimum to custom and enter your £700 in the custom box. Now if I reduce the repayment to £600, you can see it takes 2 years to repay and I paid more in interest, but at least I cleared the debt. What if we go down to 550? Remember, we can't go below 500 because that's how much debt we're putting on our credit card every month. With 550, it takes a little over 5 years to repay the debt. Now, I want you to stop and think about this. With 600, the repayment time was 2 years, and with 550, it's 5 years. A £50 difference can substantially change how long it takes for me to repay my debt. Okay, let's go a little lower. Let's say £525, that is £25 less than before. And when I do this, something different happens. It becomes impossible to clear my debt. My debt piles on and spirals out of control. You can see how this closing balance keeps on increasing at an increasing rate. If this were a game, it would be game over. But here's worse, because this could actually ruin my finances and there's no reload button. Let's put that depressing thought aside and investigate this problem further. So if at 550 I can clear the debt, but at 525 I can't, somewhere in between the two lies a turning point. So let's find out what that is. Using a fairly simple algorithm, I can determine it's between 530 and 531. Again, we can check this out with our initial set of assumption. If I paid 535, I would clear the debt in 24 years. That's quite a long time. Now, if my repayment was reduced by just £1, that is 530, clearing the debt becomes impossible. And it's not that the debt will clear in much longer periods, say 50 years, 100 years or 1000 years, it literally will never clear. In fact, you can see this behavior in the shape of the closing balance curve. If I repay 535 or more, the curve is going downwards. But as soon as I go below 531, you can see the curve is now increasing. And because debt compounds over time, it grows steeply. All that down to the £1 difference. Imagine after 25 years, someone came to you and said, if you paid £1 extra every month, you'd be debt-free. Instead, you have debt that's a lot more than what you started with. And here's the thing, if you remember earlier, we said that at the very least you need to pay more than your recurring debt of 500. Well, as we just saw, this is not enough because 530 is more than 500, but still not enough to get you out of the danger zone. And that's the key takeaway message from this video. Sometimes paying a little more than your recurring debts is simply not enough to clear your debt. But those figures are for this specific example. What about your specific circumstances? How much do you need to pay to clear your debts? Well, you'll be glad to know that I have now added this algorithm to the calculator to detect the turning point in the debt clearance, as you can see here. So feel free to give it a go, and if you have any question or comments, let me know in the comment section or in the Reddit subforum, where you can also ask any other questions. Thank you for watching, and see you next time.